Tips from Todd from the Wisconsin CTC. About twice a year, I actually get some ideas sent to me that are essentially perpetual motion machines. So this is something that happens on a regular basis, and I actually made a list of 10 of the things that are characteristic of what I usually hear when somebody comes to me with such a device. So the first one I found is that most of the time the claim is that it runs continuously without any outside energy input. Well, that makes sense in order for it to be a perpetual motion machine. The second one is that it actually does create more energy than it uses. This is a claim that I hear all the time, probably one of the more common ones I hear. And then as I talk with people, the third thing I often hear is that it just needs a little bit of energy to start it or to keep it running due to friction losses. So that's something that I commonly wind up hearing when I start to probe a little further. Interestingly, when I talk to people about this, and they bring the device to me, or the idea to me, I often hear that they say, I don't understand it myself, but the inventor does. So this is a characteristic that is common, that people who come to me often say. Another thing I often hear is that the inventor doesn't have advanced technical training in the field, but is really smart. And as a corollary to that, they oftentimes think that those with advanced training are closed-minded to new ideas. Another characteristic is that I often am told that they've talked to an expert, and that expert thought highly of the idea. Corollaries to this too is that they don't know exactly what the expert said, or perhaps the expert really isn't trained in the field, and when I ask more questions and find out some things, oftentimes the expert really isn't as expert as they've been led to believe. They really aren't a NASA engineer or physics or engineering professor. The seventh thing I oftentimes hear too is that the inventor, or the person I'm talking to, are fairly secretive, and they want to hide the technology or hide the details of the technology in order to keep large companies or the government from stealing and hiding the idea. So if I hear this, it's one of the characteristics that's pretty common from when I'm talking to people. The eighth thing is that we have investors who will give us money when a prototype is working. So all you have to do is get a prototype working, and investors will throw the money at you. Also, common thing I see. And the ninth common thing I see is that their friends and family, or maybe church members, have already invested in it. And then finally, if they get far enough along, they wind up perhaps with a prototype, but that prototype is not working. And all they have to do is make it a little bigger or tweak it just a little bit in order to get it working. So these are the 10 things that I commonly see when I talk to people with these over Unity devices or perpetual motion machines. Bottom line is, they haven't worked yet. 10,000 years of trying, millions of ideas that come and go. Not one has yet to work. Be nice if they did, but so far, no. This has been Tips from Todd from Wisconsin CTC for all your SBIR needs.